The decision to start making your hair by yourself is one that you have to sit down and critically look at the pros and cons of doing your hair by yourself and what is attainable for you as a person before actually taking that decision. This video is going to help you to make that decision. Welcome back to Generous DIY, the place to get all the boost you need to do it by yourself. I'll start by answering some of the questions that this topic may have raised. 1. Is it possible to make your hair by yourself? Yes, it is possible to make your hair by yourself. Number 2 question is, how do you do your hair by yourself? Simple, with training. Whether you are new into hairdressing or you are already into hairdressing, depending on the years of your experience, you will still need another set of training, because when it comes to making your hair, all the ideas or techniques you know are going to apply, but they're going to be altered slightly. Number 3 question is, why do people make their hair by themselves? I mean, people do their hair for different reasons, which I will be shedding more light as this video progresses. I'm going to go ahead and start giving you the pros, the advantages of making your hair by yourself. 1, it saves money. I cannot overemphasize this aspect of it, because making your hair by yourself reduces the amount of money you spend paying for workmanship or installs on your hair, especially when you want to do braids or other type of hairstyles that involves a lot of time and energy. So it is very expensive. So when you make your hair by yourself, the only thing that you are concerned about is buying your extensions and the products you need for your hair, which saves you serious money. Number 2, that you always get exactly what you want. You as a person, you know what fits you. You know your hair better than any other person. You know the styles and the patterns that help your hair, or the ones that fit you best. So making your hair by yourself gives you full control of the outcome when you already know how to get it done. When you have practiced and you are very good at what you are doing, you'll be able to get the desired outcome you want, and you will not have problems like having hair that you don't like, or they didn't get the style, or all of those problems we normally face with stylists in the salon. Number 3, it is convenient and easily fits into your schedule. A lot of us have busy schedules, so for you to squeeze out time to make an appointment in a salon or with a hairstylist to make your hair, it becomes a challenge, because you will have to stress yourself in one way or the other to meet up with that appointment. And most times when we even walk into the salon, there's a long line of people waiting to make their hair, and you coming to join that line doesn't actually guarantee that you'll be able to make that hair that day. So making your hair by yourself is going to help to take that out, because you do it when it's convenient for you in your leisure time. You just do it like it's a hobby or something, and it doesn't really feel so tasking like a body. Number 4 reason why you should do your hair by yourself: it's a unique skill and it gives satisfaction and fulfillment. It is very impressive to tell people, or people to ask you who made your hair for you, and you're like, I did it myself. What comes out is very beautiful and pleasing to the eyes. 5, it prevents breakage. Yes, when you make your hair by yourself, you're practically managing your hair by yourself, knowing that you know what makes your hair to tick, what makes it to break, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. If your hair is tender, or you have tender scalp, or all of that variations, you know how you want your hair to be treated. And most times your hairstylist don't have the patience to calm down and treat your hair in the baby-like form it's supposed to be treated, and that can cause your hair to break. Also, mixing hands on your hair. I mean, today you braid with this stylist, tomorrow you're braiding with someone else. Gradually, the different patterns of braiding and gripping the hair, your hair is going to pull with time if you are switching hairstylists every now and then. But when you manage your hair by yourself, you do something that will benefit you. And number 6, that you get to use the right products for you. I don't mean to discount or underrate what they do, but salons buy products that are more economic and efficient for them. What I mean by that is they buy products that are not too expensive and can serve a large number of people. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just that maybe those products are not specifically what your hair needs at that time. But when you manage your hair or make your hair by yourself, you get to use the products that your hair accepts, or the products that works for you, and you don't have to worry about the cost, because it will be based on your own budget. Now, the cons of making your hair by yourself: it takes more time than it will normally take when someone is doing your hair for you in the salon. If it takes 1 hour for them to get your hair done, your braids 8 hours, 6 hours, or whatever, and you're trying to recreate that style for yourself, you should prepare your mind that it's not going to take that same amount of time Instead, it's going to take more because you are doing it yourself. You're putting like a strain on yourself to get that done, and because you are probably not used to even making hair or even doing it by yourself, which is also a bit tasking, it's going to take more time. Number 2, it requires a lot of concentration and dedication. Normally, you are used to sitting down in a salon watching your movie or novel or whatever, and the hairstylist goes on doing her magic on your hair and you just sit down 4 hours and you're done. But now you're the one doing the hair, so a lot of concentration goes into it because you want it to be detailed. You need to get those braid patterns right, you need to get the styling, it has to be strong and fit. You need a lot of determination because if you think of the bulk of the work you're supposed to do on your hair, that alone can stop you from making that hair. But if you are determined to do the hair, you will be able to achieve it. Number 3, the techniques that are involved in doing your hair by yourself are slightly different from the normal way we make hair for people. What I'm trying to say is, normally if you braid for somebody, this is the person sitting in front of the mirror, you at the back, maybe at the side, but you tend to have a better hold and a better grip on the hair. You have a better allowance and you are standing in the right position or in the right place that you're supposed to be. But when you're doing it by for yourself, you get to be a bit discomforting. You can imagine holding your hair like this for a long time, and after doing this side, you're going to come over to this side and try and do, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but the techniques are quite different. If you're used to braiding like this and you add, maybe when you're braiding for yourself, you might have to alternate it so that you can be able to grip well and also get that result. It's not just about knowing how to braid or braid well or all of that. It's knowing how to transform that braid style or that braid technique you know to your head, knowing that it's not going to be in the same way or position the person's hair normally is when you're doing your hair. Number 4, it needs a lot of practice and training. You might think you already know how to braid. When it comes to making your hair by yourself, you will have to learn how to do it again. After going through the pros and the cons, if the idea of making your hair by yourself is still very appealing to you, then have a valid reason for making your hair by yourself. Don't do it because you saw someone on YouTube doing it and you want to try it out. The first time I tried installing crochet individual braids for myself, I watched the video and it was like boom boom boom, we're done and all of that. But by the time I did it, and I wasn't really prepared for that, but because I wanted to finish the hair, it took me 2 days to finish that hair. 2 days. After that, I had to sit down and actually think, what is the main reason that I want to make my hair myself? I was at a time in my life where I was entering into the university and I was wondering how I was going to cope with making my hair and also fit it into my budget as a student. Yes, we want to all look nice. Your hair is the first makeup you wear before any other thing, but it's very cost intensive. So I thought if I was able to make my hair by myself, it would cut down the cost. So that was one of the reasons why I started making my hair by myself. 2, I practically get exactly what I want and I'm always happy with the finished result. And then 3, it gives me a lot of fulfillment. Like, I cannot explain the kind of joy and happiness I derive from making my hair by myself. I mean, it doesn't matter the amount of hours I spend making my hair. When I'm done, I feel like I'm on top of the world and I feel like I've achieved something. And I always like when I challenge myself, especially when it comes to hair, and then I achieve it. Nothing compares to that feeling. So you need a reason why you are making your hair by yourself, and let that reason also have its advantages to you, because it's those advantages that is going to keep you making your hair by yourself. Because trust me, it's not an easy job. You might already start deciding what you want to do about that. But if you're deciding to start making your hair by yourself, I'm going to give you some tips that is going to ease the flow of the work. I know I'm scared you, it's hard, it's tasking and all of that, but it's not impossible. Number 1 tip: start from less technical hairstyles. You want to make your hair by yourself, you haven't tried it before. Do not try and overwhelm yourself by taking technical hairstyles. You can start from a simple all back cornrow. That was how I actually started and how I made my hands to be strong on my hair. I was a stylist as at the time I started making my hair, but when I tried to braid, as simple as cornrow is, my braids were not tight at all. The line was terrible. It wasn't even straight. Like, I couldn't get anything out of it. I took it upon myself that I was going to do this until I got it right. So every week I make all back cornrow on my hair. The first week it wasn't strong. I'm not even sure it lasted up to 3 days. It was already rough. The next week I loosened that and I did it again. And as I continued doing it over time, I was getting better. My braids were stronger and my lines were getting straighter. So start small. Make sure that you are comfortable, like your body gets used to you staying in very weird and awkward positions for you to achieve what you want before moving to more technical styles. Number 2, learn the basic techniques of hair styling. What I mean is that if it is for braiding, learn how to braid the right way, how to grip ends, learn how to tuck in your hair, learn how to add Kanekalon braiding hair to make it longer. Learn all those simple techniques, all those techniques that we most times avoid or just see as not being important. Learn how to do all those, because that is going to help you when you are braiding your hair. It's not the time that you want to now start making the hair that you will now be learning on top of the hair that you are trying to make. It's not going to be funny. Number 3, start early. You need a lot of natural light to make your hair, especially if you are using 2 mirrors to see. I will explain that in one of my videos where I showed you how I used 2 mirrors to part my hair for braids. I explained how that happened. I also said that you need a light source. So when you are making your hair, you need to do it early enough so that you can finish at a very comfortable time where you can still see clearly what you are doing on your hair. I said previously that it takes time. So imagine if you are starting your hair by 5 o'clock. Before you get to half of the hair, it is 8 o'clock. The body functions in a specific way. Mornings to afternoons are meant for work. In the evening, your body is already telling you rest and sleep. So that is not the time for you to start making your hair. If you want to make your hair, plan out, wake up on time and start making your hair. Number 4, prepare your equipment and materials before starting the hair. Equipment may include, maybe if you are doing a braid style, if you need to pick or uneven the ends of the Kanekalon braiding hair, do that a day before. You need to separate the Kanekalon braiding hair into different sizes you need. If it's 30 braids you're looking for, separate it into 30 pieces so that when you are braiding, you just pick and braid. All this is going to reduce the amount of work you do on your hair. If it is the products you need arranged in a particular order, do it so that you don't stand up so much or move around so much or do a lot of all those menial works that you would have done at the side to make the work very easy for you. Number 5 is set aside a day to make your hair, a day that is convenient for you. Do not fix appointments on the day that you decide to make your hair. So let's say you want to braid and you set an appointment for 2 o'clock and you started making the hair 7. The chances of you finishing before 2 o'clock is there, but it's also very slim because you do not know what you are going to encounter during making your hair. Let me give you an instance. I was supposed to attend a wedding and I needed to make my hair, so I took weaves and then I was fixing it on my hair, and I started fixing this hair at around 7 o'clock in the night. I actually fixed the weave previously in a salon and I didn't know that this quantity I took to the salon wasn't the quantity I came out with. And to say that the hairstylist cut the weaves so much that it reduced in size. So when I was making the hair again, I got to the front part of the hair and then the weaves finished. Like there was no more bundle of hair to fix on my hair. I didn't know what to do. It was night. As around that time, it was around 10 to 11. I was at the front of my hair and I'd already made a commitment to attend that wedding. So I had to look for another weave to add to the one that I had. And the one I had at home at that time was a different coil entirely. It was fatter. It was black. The weave I was using was color 1B and the one I had to add was black. I mean, before I sat down to figure out how to add that extra extension to my hair in such a way that it will not be noticeable that it's a different color and that it's a different color, it took me another 1 hour 30 minutes to figure out. So you do not know what you will encounter when making your hair. I mean, mistakes happen a lot of times when making your hair, so that's why you need a lot of time so that in case those happen, you will be able to recompose yourself and figure out a way to solve the problem. 6, aim for perfection. Don't just do it. I did it myself. It's not supposed to be perfect and all of that. Yes, nobody is perfect, but doesn't mean that we cannot strive to be perfect. Train yourself, keep practicing and working on it until you get a desirable result. I mean, it's going to be so bad if after taking 5 hours to do your hair, what comes out is not even presentable to you, the person that is carrying the hair. Not to talk more of people who will be seeing you from outside, because it can be a really big turn down when after spending a lot of hours and then people are like, oh, who made your hair? And you're like, I did it myself, and the person will be like, oh, no wonder. under. That alone can crush and destabilize you in so many ways. Number 7, keep training and practicing. No matter how long you have taken in making your hair, you should understand that the hair industry does not stay in one place. It keeps revolving and changing, and the techniques you probably learned before must have modified to be better. You on your own have finished learning how to style hair, and somebody on his own in some other country is thinking of a way to solve one of their hair challenges, and maybe he or she does find a solution to the problem, and before you know what is happening, that's gone viral. If you do not upgrade to that level, you are not going to satisfy your customers or even yourself. Always try and look for, okay, what next to do? What can I do to improve this? Something that you are not comfortable with, you should always try and get a different solution. I hope you guys have been able to get the whole gist from all this rambling, or I hope that I've been able to shed light on the things that I feel everyone should be aware about before diving into the pool of making your hair by yourself. I can't wait for you guys to experience the kind of fulfillment and satisfaction I get from making my hair with myself. I mean, I am super amazed with the outcome each time. I like to see the look on people's faces when I tell them I did the hair with myself, and they'll be like, no, it's not possible, and I'll be like, I have a video to prove. As in, it's so elating. I mean, take a look at this. I did. This is Kanekalon braiding hair. It looks like weave, but it's Kanekalon braiding hair. If you want to learn how to make this style, the details will be in the description box for you, so you check it out. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. Drop a comment in the comment section below to increase my engagement. Share this video, encourage people to also like and subscribe. And until my next week's video, have a great week and a great life.